Charter Local Edition with your host, John MacDonald.
Welcome. I'm visiting today with Jim Smith, who is the mayor of Helena, Montana, my adopted hometown. Welcome, Mayor.
Morning, John.
Appreciate you taking some time to visit with us.
Thanks for setting this up.
I understand that a couple of cities in Montana were recently named as one of the most livable, and including Helena. Tell us a little bit about that.
How about that? Yeah, there's an outfit in Tennessee called livability.com. And they surveyed hundreds of cities, all between 25 and 350,000 in population. Mm-hmm. They were looking at quality of life indicators, including healthcare, infrastructure, recreation, education. And what do you know? Bozeman, Missoula, and Helena all ranked in the top 100. So we were real pleased to see that in Helena. And
excellent.
We've always known it's a great city and very livable, but to see national publication recognize us was quite nice.
Right, to have somebody else recognize it as well is a nice feeling.
You know, another organization, the International Mountain Biking Association, just kind of upgraded Helena's status from bronze to silver in terms of a mountain biking community. And that puts us right up there with Moab, Utah, places out in the eastern part of the United States, Massachusetts and New England states. So, we're getting some good indications from the national level that
it's a good place
that we've
to live.
Always known it's a good place to live.
And I know one of the mountain biking magazines recently did a nice article on Helena's trail systems around town.
Yeah, and we've invested a lot of time, money, and sweat equity in our trail system over the last 10 years. It started with a citizen-initiated bond in 1998 for about $10 million. And with that, we were able to acquire property on the borders of town and begin building these trails. And it's working out very well.
One of the issues that you share with a couple of the other communities that also got that award is the issue of growth. What is Helena doing, and what are some of the other communities that are dealing with that? What are they doing to address that issue?
Boy, I think what it comes down to fundamentally is working with your county government. And we're very fortunate in Helena to have an excellent relationship with Lewis and Clark County and their commissioners and their staff. We're all in the same building. The city and the county share a lot of offices, a lot of functions. But we've got to put our heads together and try to do more rational planning for how the city grows, where it grows, under what conditions and circumstances will we extend services, water, sewer, police, fire, into the areas of the county. And that is a real challenge for us. It's more expensive to build in the city and to be in the city than out in the county. So we've got to wrestle with the individual needs of people, but with the long-term needs of both the city and the county in terms of things like traffic and fire protection and water quality. It's all a big whole that we've got to look at comprehensively, and it's tough.
What role does the legislature play in that? I know every year we have issues that come up about subdivision regulations and water quality issues with subdivisions. How big of a role does the legislature play in that?
Well, it's a huge role. I mean, it's the legislature that establishes the playing field, the rules of the game, everything. And in this particular case, with regard to land use planning, we're talking about Title 76 of the Montana Codes Annotated, which is the Montana Subdivision and Platting Act. And if you can find me any two people in the state who say they understand and agree with what that act requires of local governments, I'll buy the pork chops. Because it's in my opinion, I'm a simple guy. It's a complicated piece of state legislation.
Right. It seems to be one of the more complicated issues when it comes up during the legislature, and it seems to come up every session.
Oh yeah, it is. And what's going on in the Helena Valley and our relationship with Lewis and Clark County, that's going on here in this valley, Bozeman and Gallatin County, Missoula, the Bitterroot, Flathead, Billings. I mean, it's just the development pattern that's emerged over the last 30, 40 years in this state, where you've got the core city and then development all around it. And the Subdivision and Platting Act, I don't know if it makes things harder, but I'm not sure it makes things any easier for us either.
Right. Another issue in Helena that's been going on, and a lot of conversation, is efforts by both the city and the county to increase recycling and to kind of come up with some new ways. Talk a little bit about where that initiative is at.
Well, that's another example of our relationship with Lewis and Clark County. And you know, it's funny, we do sort of tend to come up with unique individual solutions in each Montana community. But in Helena, we've got an interesting, unique sort of situation, and I call it a hybrid system of solid waste management. The city has a transfer station, and everybody in the city can bring their garbage to the transfer station, and so can people out in the county, out in the valley. So the city owns and operates and funds and maintains all the activities at the transfer station. But every day from that transfer station, there's about half a dozen trucks loaded with 40 to 45,000 pounds of garbage that head their way out to a landfill that the county of Lewis and Clark owns, operates, and manages. So those trucks go out there, stuff gets dumped off the truck, and as soon as it hits the ground, these big machines come and start smashing it down. Because a landfill is all about volume, you know, so you compress the garbage. But within all that, we're trying to keep stuff out of that landfill. Stuff like plastic, cardboard, glass, other recyclable materials. You know, we're trying to divert certain commodities out of that waste stream. And that involves public education, giving people incentives to do that, finding the money to do it.
Right.
But we're making good strides. We've come a long way with our recycling in the last 4 or 5 years in Helena. It's still not everything everybody wants, and that's a reflection of our population and our financial constraints.
Right.
But we're taking e-waste now, which we never did before. We're taking glass. We can drop off plastics. We got a good cardboard program.
Right. So efforts are improving. Things are moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. We have been visiting with Helena Mayor Jim Smith. Thank you for taking some time.
This is great, John. Thanks for having me in.
Appreciate it.
Charter Local Edition has been an exclusive presentation of Charter Communication, providing original programming.